Good morning and welcome to More Tea Minister. My name is Ian. Today we are looking at a style of tea that we are in one sense familiar with, but we've never looked at in its purest form. Today we are looking at hojicha from Japan. Hojicha meaning roasted tea. This is from Komen's tea. This specific example is called Houjicha Uji. Now this one is not a single estate tea, it's a blend. It comes from Uji and Wazuka in Japan. And the one thing that is standard or uniform, let's put it that way, is that it's using the Yabukita cultivar. Hojicha is technically roasted green tea. And with that in mind, you could imagine there's a great deal of variety of hojicha depending on the particular cultivar, but also depending on how well it's been roasted and also the green tea processing steps that take place before it's turned into hojicha. We've already looked at a version of hojicha, hojicha, which is roasted twig tea. And so from that alone, you get the idea that the source material in terms of the green tea has a great deal to do with the finished product. I've had hojichas which are very heavily roasted. I've had ones where it's pretty obvious that it's a sencha that's been thoroughly steamed, so the tea's in fragments, and that's been gently roasted, which leads me on to a sort of personal observation about these teas, in that hojicha is, in a sense, a kind of spectrum of tea. Not only do you have all this variety about the length of roasting, but also the source material. But if you think about it, we've already looked at quite a few roasted teas. Granted, they've often been bancha, like our Kyo bancha or our Sanin bancha, whereas you can make hojicha from sencha, from that first growth of the season, or the first harvest and growing season of Japanese tea. It's also possible to make yet another version of hojicha, which is a sort of derivative of kukicha, but in that case you're using tencha, which I believe are the veinous materials that's used from the leaves that then are turned into matcha. And we might be looking at that when I can get hold of some. So this is hojicha roasted green tea from the Yabukita cultivar. Now move on to part two, where we take a closer look at the material. Hello and welcome to part two. A very brief close-up look at the Houjicha Uji. It's uniform in colour. It looks a little washed out on camera compared to in reality, where it's a combination of a sort of sand colour and an autumn brown, which is no surprise given that it's been roasted. The pieces aren't really uniform. We have a combination of stem material, some more obvious stuff quite pale like this, but this is also stem here, and also leaf fragments, which again is to be expected with the Japanese manufacturing process for green tea in the first place. So a much more nutty brown than the camera is showing for our hojicha. On to part three. Hello and welcome to part three of our video, where we're going to review the Houjicha Uji. So we have it, as always, when it's one pot, so to speak, Western style, or in this case Japanese style. We've got it already prepared and steeped, and there were no tea leaves in here, so it can't continue to steep any longer. The brewing parameters were 1 teaspoon of tea, which averaged out at about 1 gram per 200 mils of water at 100 degrees centigrade for 1 minute. So that's what we've done. There's 400 mils of water here, and I used 2 grams of tea. So let's pour it out. Color that's it. That's what I can see. It's a sort of dark yellow. The roasting quality comes through very nicely. It's not bitter. There's a sort of slight sweetness to it. It's subtle. It reminds me of some of the banchas that we've looked at. I don't mean necessarily, strictly speaking, they smell the same, but it's about the same intensity. So let's try the flavour. And it takes a little while to cool this because it's 100 degrees, or it was. It's delicate. It's a full flavour. It's not falling off the palate as if I haven't used enough tea or steeped it for long enough. I wouldn't call it rich, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to be a all-day drink that can be for those who are sick, those who are very young, those who are very old. I like the combination of roastedness and sweetness. There's no smokiness, but at least not in this one. But bearing in mind that you can get this in endless varieties, I'm going to take a little bit more of that. I can see that as something that people could drink for pure satisfaction at any time of day. The sweetness, nuttiness, roastiness all blend together very nicely. So let's wrap this up nice and quickly. It's a lovely tea. It's not there to blow your socks off. It's all day, every day, nice and gentle, satisfying at the same time. Not rich though, so you're not going to tire of it. Is it readily available? Yes. In a myriad of varieties from a myriad of vendors. And is it easy to prepare? A teapot. So a very obvious 3 out of 3. All it remains for me to do is to wish you happy steeping and to say God bless.